All right, welcome everyone to our Wednesday mastermind called Attraction in Action. Here's what we want to do. We want to improve your knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits to give you a rock solid foundation to really build a sustainable revenue share organization. Now, sadly, a lot of people, they come over to here to EXP, they start building a RevShare group, and yet they have no foundation. Imagine that you want to build a home right on the sandy beach, right up against the ocean, and you didn't install the proper foundation. I mean, the first wave that hits that thing, it's going to crumble like a house of cards. Now, those of us that are smart enough to really approach this revenue share building as a true business, we're the ones that are going to succeed long-term here at EXP. Now, I want to share my screen. I'm going to walk you through something real quick. Then we're going to get to our special guest today. So let's talk a little bit about this, what I call the model toward mastery. Many of you have seen it, and yet if you've seen it before, that's okay. Just want to make sure that you're in action with it, that you understand it. And where are you in the current process toward mastery? I just got a notification on my screen that Zoom quit unexpectedly. Can you?
Yeah, it looks like you've started sharing, Sean. So maybe try sharing again and.
Okay. I think we lost him.
Yeah, you know what? He will be back in just a moment. Guys, since we have 104 people, we're going to have a few more come in. While Sean is coming back on the call, I want to tell everybody, do not leave yet. After Sean is done, I want to give you guys a quick social media update. We've been blowing it away, and I want to show you some of the tricks. I don't know if you guys have seen the news story, but on LinkedIn, they're talking about the real estate market definitely running into headwinds. So I want to show you guys some of the tools that we use there. And it looks like Sean is back. But it looks like he is having some issues there.
There we go. Sorry about that. I was on mute. Didn't realize it yet. Can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up, Tim.
Yep, you're okay. There. Yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, it looks like it's stuck. But yeah, I would say give it a shot and we'll see.
Okay, fantastic. Well, hopefully this works. So we were talking about the strength, the depth, the width, the amount of rebar and steel that's in your foundation, right? Excuse me. Now, there are 4 things that impact the strength of your foundation. Guys, number 1, it's your knowledge. You got to know what to do. You got to know what to say. By the way, with mere words in agent attraction, you could, look at Brent Gove, look at Gene Frederick, Rob Flake. They're making, on average, between the 3 of them, each about $1.4 million a month. They're in the 8-figure income bracket. Guys, it doesn't suck, right? Yet they know what to say. They know how to say it. All right. So that's the skills part, is the how to say it and how to do it. And when we focus on those first 2 categories of knowledge and skills, well, that automatically improves our competence, leads to a higher level of confidence, and it impacts our mindset in a really powerful way. And I believe that, 95% of your success in real estate sales and agent attraction is, in fact, mindset. So with the right mindset, you're going to soar. With the wrong mindset, you're going to fail. So next to that is habits. Now, F.M. Alexander said that people don't decide their future, they decide their habits. And their habits decide their future. So I don't know about you, I've got some good habits. I've got some really bad habits. And yet those habits are deciding my future day in and day out. So what I'm doing is bringing conscious awareness to the actions, the activities that will bring a positive result, and then applying discipline to own those habits, those positive actions, just bring them to the point of automaticity. So the next phase of the model is through our pipeline phase. Now, pipeline, it's everything that you're doing proactively or reactively to identify and earn the business of the candidates in the marketplace today. How do you get them to, number 1, create awareness around EXP? And then what is your follow-up strategy to nurture them through the dreaming phase to the actual shifting phase? Okay. Now, oftentimes that phase can last 3 years in some of my examples, yet other times it's like 2 days. Other times it's 20 minutes, right? They're just like, I'm sold. I want to come over to EXP. Yet, how do you nurture them? We're going to talk about that today. Now, we reach this position of momentum which is the next phase of the model. And it takes tenacity to get there. So momentum, it's a fun place to be. It's also kind of a scary place to be. So I've introduced you guys to systems like onboarding autopilot through my friend Rob Stein. I would encourage you to investigate that, to take that 80% work off of your plate so you can give more of your time, in fact, most of your time, to the 20% work. Now, the 20% work as it relates to agent attraction and real estate sales, it's really simple. It's just 5 things. Number one, it's practice. You got to know what to say. You got to know how to say it. Getting a great mentor is a really good thought here, right? A coach, a mentor, a consultant, whatever that might look like. Second is lead generation. So having that accountability to create the number of conversations that you need to create day in and day out. Number 3 is lead follow-up and nurturing the candidates. When they've heard about EXP, they might not shift right away. Maybe they got, some deals they need to close, some listings they need to close, whatever that might look like. But typically it's going to be 30 to 60 days. At least that's been my experience, right? So we've got to nurture them through that process, through lead follow-up. Now, the byproduct of the first 3 things, which is practice, lead gen, lead follow-up, is having your attraction appointments. And again, it comes back to foundation. What are you going to say? How are you going to say it? Do you have a system in place that produces a consistent and predictable result? And then the 5th thing is just helping them negotiate the transfer of their license over to EXP. And those are the only 5 things that are simply going to shift the needle for you to increase that revenue share month after month. Now, once we're in this position of momentum, and that's going to happen once you hit about 125 agents in your group, okay? Then it takes a life of its own. You can't even stop it from growing, even if you wanted to. I mean, there have been times that I've logged into my RevShare dashboard and I realized in the last 30 days, the average number of agents that have joined my group is about 9.5 agents per day. I mean, that feels really good. I don't know their first and last name. I don't know where they're at, yet I do know that when they sell a house and pay XP 20%, my family gets paid. And that feels really good. It's like wake up money, right? And I want that for each and every one of you, which is why we're doing this week after week. Now, once we're at that position of momentum, I'd encourage you to kind of realign your focus toward leverage. So there's 4 categories of leverage. It's through models, systems, technology, and then people. See, if you're not going to do it, there must be a who does do it. Otherwise, it doesn't get done, right? So I coach every day, back-to-back sessions, and I have a blast doing it. All of my clients are winning at a very high level. And yet, when I finish my day at like 6 p.m., the last thing I want to do is pick up the phone and cold call an agent to talk to him about EXP. Yet, I force myself to do it from time to time, which is why the revenue share group has grown at a rate of 21.2% over the course of the last 3 years and 3 months. So with that said, leverage is critical. So I've got a full-time ISA that makes those calls for me to set those one-on-one attraction appointments. And yeah, they just use my scheduling link. They plug it into my schedule. I see I've got an EXP attraction call. I'll send them a quick video text message, encouraging them to show up, to instill value in this conversation. Otherwise, they generally no-show me. Then we have the attraction conversation, which again, it's highly scripted. It is a system. Ultimately, we reach this level of mastery. Yet to me, that's a lifetime journey. Malcolm Gladwell will tell you it takes 10,000 hours to master anything. So again, it's a lifetime journey. I believe the more I know, the less I know, which is why I love doing this call every week. Guys, I look forward to this call more than anything else every week because it gives me an opportunity and you an opportunity to just improve our knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits. Now, every day, guys, we have to be in foundation every single day. See, I love what Lincoln said so many years ago. He said, I don't think much of a person who isn't a better person today than they were yesterday. So every day we focus on improving our knowledge, our skills, our mindset, and our habits. And today is absolutely no different. In fact, I invited a guest that I've had on before. In fact, this is the second time that we've made this call all about him and his production. And the reason for that is because he keeps coming up with new and exciting things that just make our jobs easier to attract agents. His name is Jon Mendelsohn. Many of you are familiar with Jon. He's pretty active on our calls, which I love that about him. See, how we participate here is how we're going to participate out there. So Jon, welcome to our call, buddy. How you doing? Hello, Jon.
No, there we go. Now I'm fantastic. How
Right
are
on.
you?
You terrified me for a moment.
No. I couldn't. I had to figure out how to unmute it with your screen shared thing, so I found it. So we're good.
Gotcha. All right, let me take that down. And Jon, give us the background. Give us the story. But how'd you get into real estate? What have you been doing? I mean, how are you attracting so many agents? Talk to me.
Yeah, so I'll give you kind of like the elevator pitch of my career. I spent a decade in corporate America. From a sales rep, outside sales rep, to manager, supervisor, all those things, director. Eventually, kind of had my fill of the corporate world, and made it. Had large teams, made it high enough up where I really wasn't doing any selling anymore. And that's what I love doing. I was managing managers and that type of stuff. So I got my real estate license in 2016, had just moved to Virginia. I didn't know a single person. And so I left a 6-figure corporate salary with a stay-home wife and 3 kids. And I'm a big fan of my wife. I I married way up, and losing a house was probably not the best thing to keep her a big fan of me. So I did what I always did. I just, on the minute my license was approved, I opened up Zillow and I started calling expireds. Now, my whole background has been in new business development through cold calling. I've run, call centers. I've built call centers ground up. And so I've been doing scripting and dialing for 20 plus years. I love the Malcolm Gladwell quote, because I've done my 10,000 hours on the phone. I've done my 400 or 500 dials literally a day in 6, 7 different markets for expireds and FSBOs. And so, yeah, my whole world has always been new business development, and it's always been through the phone. And so when I came to EXP, I wasn't selling real estate at the time. I had another business that was based on cold calling for other real estate agents. And I didn't know anybody, but I came to EXP specifically for revenue share. And so I did what I always did. I just picked the phone and started calling agents. And I recruited a bunch. I had probably 15 or so agents my first month. And then I realized over the next 2 months of that I wasn't recruiting the agents that I wanted to be in business with. Some of them, yes. Some of them are probably on the call today. Some of them are amazing. I was recruiting, half cappers, quarter cappers. I was just looking at the math of trying to open up levels. And then the headaches started. So I started looking around really aggressively throughout EXP. Like, there's got to be somebody like me who doesn't know anybody in the real estate business anymore. Because, I came in February of last year and I hadn't sold a house since 2019. And so I didn't know any real estate agents, and there wasn't anything. So I thought, well, I'm so frustrated with the way this is going that I'm either not going to do it and find a different way to have, financial freedom, which I couldn't because revenue. I always say, if compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, revenue share is the 9th. There's just nothing like it. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to build a system. It's not exactly where my greatest skill set is. I'm a better implementer of systems, but I built a system, basically soup to nuts, on what exactly I need to do to have the best return on what I'm doing dialing. Because I was getting a lot of appointments. I was getting people to come on board. Again, not the right people. Long story short, I built the system out. People started reaching out to me, Sean, frankly, through this call. I stumbled onto this call, I think, in March of last year, and maybe missed 2 of these calls since then, because this is the best thing for agent attraction in EXP, this particular call. And so through this call, people started asking me for coaching. And I thought, well, I don't want to be the guy that just tells people what I do. So I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go deep into building a legitimate coaching program out. And it took me a lot longer than I thought it would. But I think we've run 6 or 7 different groups through there. And it is, it started off as a system for me. And then it was like, oh, cool, people, want coaching. And along the way, within the last probably 2 months, it became very clear that this is something that everybody in EXP needs to be able to see. Because Sean, I hired Sean as my personal coach too. And one of the things we were talking about either this week or last was what is the biggest, Sean, I think it was, we were talking about the idea that, you've got to have problem and then solution and then a win. And it became very clear to me over the last few months that the problem most people have with agent attraction is they don't have a gigantic database of people that know them, like them, and trust them to call. They don't know what to say. And like I said, I've run large sales teams, call centers, the whole 9 yards. If people don't know what to say, they won't make the call. That's just 100% guaranteed. And then if they do know what to say and they don't have a process to get them through, then it falls apart. So RevShare Builders, my coaching company, kind of morphed into the mission for it now is to bring agent attraction, a system for agent attraction, to every single regular agent in the business, because that's what I am. I've always just been a regular agent. I didn't have giant teams. I did a lot of production, but I always just say that agent attraction needs to be for everybody. There needs to be multiple ways to do it, and Sean, that's what you and I have been working on with this is making an accessible tool that anybody, regardless of who you know, how long you've been in the business, what your production is, where you're calling, has a systematic way to win with revenue share, because it is too good of an opportunity to miss out. And those people who start doing it 5 years from now, 2 years from now, it's going to be harder than it is today. And that's just math. We've got 85, 90,000 agents. If we're at 150,000 agents 12 months from now, well, that's, 55, 60,000 more agents that are already with EXP, and some of them are going to be recruiting. The pool of EXP keeps getting bigger. The pool of the right agents will even inevitably get smaller. And I just don't want to miss the opportunity. I don't want anybody else to either. So
with you, John. So let's bring context to the harsh reality of building revenue share, because the struggle, guys, it's real. There's no question about that. If you don't know who you're going to call, you're not going to call anybody. If you don't know what you're going to say or how you're going to say it, you're definitely not going to call anybody, even if you built a list. Yet everything starts with list building. The reason that I shared the pyramid when we started was to really talk today about foundation, to improve our knowledge, our skills, our mindset, and our habits. And guys, there's shortcuts out there. There's no doubt about that. See, many of you have engaged in our Attraction and Action training program. It's 5 full modules, 90 minutes in duration. We add on so much value, from the presentation slide deck to the calculator that demonstrates what they would be earning in 5 years if they attracted 1 agent every 2 months or 5 agents a month. I mean, you can change that, and it shows them specifically what kind of wake-up money they would be gaining up. But all of those tools, the scripts, the dialogues, the objection handlers, the business planning methodology, the social media marketing, the technology, all of that's included in the program. I would encourage you maybe to start there, because with the right knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits, well, you're going to get out there and you're going to crush it. So it's just $497, guys. It's 5 90-minute modules. I would encourage you to just improve the strength, the depth, the width of your foundation. Then from there, I would strongly encourage you to jump into John's program. John, tell us about the program. Seriously, I think it's just so darn good that I want to hear more about it. Go ahead.
Cool. Do you want me to make the kind of announcement and then go into it, or how do you want to?
Well, yeah, let's talk about the announcement. Why not?
I'm sorry, Sean. I've been chomping at the bit for months since we've been working on this. It's the most exciting thing in the world to me. So I hate to force the hand, but I can't wait.
Take it away, John. You're in charge.
All right. So RevShare Builders Coaching is the coaching company that I have, is now a part of Icon Coaching.
Woo!
So
that's winning, baby.
Yes, it is. So, and part of the reason that Sean and I were talking about this and looked at, bringing these two different companies or different, coaching programs together is they fit really well. And Sean and I have the same mindset of agent attraction needs to be for everybody, not just because you've got 30 years in the business and you know 700 real estate agents. That's not the average agent. You know, we hear that the average agent, or the out of the 85, 90,000 agents, only about 10 to 12% are recruiting agents, and they're missing the greatest thing ever. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. So now RevShare Builders is officially RevShare Builders, a division of Icon Coaching. Most exciting thing that's ever happened to me, I would say, is you know, being able to work with Sean on this. And that's going to bring it to a lot more people. So the program is essentially a soup to nuts how to recruit agents that are the right agents without knowing any of them. I've only met one agent that I've ever recruited. Happens to be my best friend. I've known him for, I don't know, 35 years. That dates me a bit. But the beauty of the system that I use, and I can kind of walk through the system a little bit more, but the beauty is it allows you to decide who you're going to bring on when you're actively recruiting agents versus waiting for them to be attracted to you. And I'm not saying attraction is bad, but for instance, I teach something that I call the 15 2-in-1 model. And it is my model to financial freedom through revenue share. It starts off, 15 2-in-1. What's that?
I said, write this down, guys. This
Yep.
is good stuff.
It starts off with, first and foremost, you've got to identify your ideal agent or your avatar of an agent, right? And so for me, I'm looking for agents that have been in the business 3 to 10 years. They're doing 3 to 10 million in production. If they are, you know, in a higher price point area, I'll bump that up to 3 to 15 million. And then I've got a few other sort of mandatories that if they don't hit, they come off my list. I've got a list of probably 150,000 agents right now. About 20% of them are going to meet my ideal agent. So first things first, I don't care if somebody says, no, I've got another 40,000 agents I can call. I'm not worried at all. The 15 2-in-1 model works like this. If you have 15 capping agents in line 1, and you use tap routing, which is recruiting your recruits for them, and you recruit 2 people that your 15 people know, now you've got 30 in line 2. And in the coaching program, we go through exactly how to do that. It's a great tool. I didn't come up with it. I stole it. The next step of that is you need 1 agent for everybody in your line 2 in your line 3. So you've got 75 agents total in your organization. Now, again, you've got your 15 frontline qualifying agents that are all cappers. You've got your line 2 that are the connections of the people in your line 1. Recruit them for them, help them, whatever you need to do, but they have to meet the same criteria, capping agents. Do the same thing from line 2 to line 3, but you only need 1 for each, hence the 15 2-in-1. And that averages to $26.67 per agent and $198,000 of income. That can be done in a year. That can be done in 18 months. It depends on how many calls you want to make. But if you know what to say, how to say it, and you have a process to bring them through, we're not talking about splitting the atom here. We're talking about spending a couple of hours reaching out to agents on the phone. And let me let you all in on a little secret. When I said I've done my 10,000 hours on the phone, I ran a company for a number of years where all I did was call expireds and FSBOs for business partners in high price point areas. I was doing 400 to 500 dials a day on expireds and FSBOs. That's proper cold calling. This is not. This is so easy. You don't get yelled at. People, these are business professionals who don't want to ruin their reputation. And if they were somebody who would want to ruin their reputation, you don't want to be in business with them anyways. This is, to me, the easiest way to financial freedom in the world is that 15 2-in-1. Sean, it's interesting that you put up that the pyramid that you just had on there, because that's the foundation in my mind. Anybody, I don't care who you are, your life changes and never goes back to normal if you've got 200 grand coming in a year before you wake up in the morning. This is the easiest model for that foundation. Once you build that, You could literally stop. It's going to grow itself. If you want to stop it, good luck trying. Sean mentioned to me the other day.
In your model, John, that would be a sum total of 90 agents in the RevShare organization. Is that right? Am I doing that correctly?
15, 30, and 30, 75.
75. Okay. 15, 30, and 30. Got it.
Yep.
So 75 agents, guys. And you're making $198,000 a year in just wake up money. See, here's the thing. You don't have to manage these agents. You don't have to provide them with leads, answer any contract questions, or deal with any liability or compliance issues associated with running the brokerage. EXP takes all of that off of your plate. Now you can go out and sell 90 homes this year, and yes, you'll make some money, but that money is short-lived. You go out and you attract 15 agents, help them attract 2 agents each, and then help those agents attract just 1 agent each. Guys, 198, are you kidding me? What is more simple than that? And by the way, those of you who have experience in attracting agents, you recognize the model sells itself. All you have to do is provide them with an opportunity to learn about it, to open their mind to just the power of this model and the 8 different ways that we compensate agents here at EXP. It is so powerful, John. I love the methodology. And one thing you did for us last week was you showed a spreadsheet, because your objection handler happens to be very similar to mine, right? Mm-hmm. Where somebody says, well, I'm super busy, I don't have time to investigate EXP. And we just simply say, well, that's okay. I mean, maybe you don't want any extra money. Let me just ask you the question. If I could show you how to put an extra $30,000 to $50,000 in your bank account over the course of the next 12 months, and you're doing nothing different than you're doing today, would you be open-minded to investing just 30 minutes to learn about the fastest growing brokerage in the history of real estate? Now, how do you prove to them that they're going to make $30,000 to $50,000 in additional income, John? And I know it's part of your program, but if you wouldn't mind, just share your screen. I would love to see that again.
I will share my screen right now. Let me see if it actually shares the correct one. Can everybody see the
we're
spreadsheet?
Good. We're good.
All right. So I am gonna let me do a couple things here to make it so you can see the entire thing on one sheet. If that's, well, it's close. So this is my brokerage comparison tool that I use. So let me back up a step real quick. I do a three-part appointment process, and there's a specific reason for it. My first appointment, when I do the cold call, obviously that's not an appointment. My first appointment is a 20-minute appointment. I'm going to wet their beak on EXP, but in my scripting, like Sean said, I'm going to say, if I can show you how to put an extra 30 to 50 grand net in your pocket in the next 12 months, would that be worth 20 minutes of your time? So just to touch on that real quick, I didn't ask them to meet with me. I didn't ask them if they like EXP or if they hate their broker. What I just said is 30 to 50 grand worth 20 minutes of your time. And here's how I show that. So I'm a spreadsheet nerd. I do everything on spreadsheets. So this is an example of, I use 2 different versions of this spreadsheet, but we'll go with the traditional brokerage spreadsheet versus I've got another one here. If I click this other one, it does one with a cap. But let's say that you're calling an agent who does $8 million in production. So I put 8 million in the top. They're getting an average of 3% commission. It's $240,000 gross. They're on an 80-20 split without a cap, and they have a $3,000 franchise fee. So they're actually netting $189,000. Their broker is netting $51,000. So if you'll notice here, pay attention to column N. When I come over here, and let's say they're doing 35 deals a year to get to that 8 million, it's going to drop 16 grand back in this column here, which is their icon award, back to them. And then it's going to show them that their cost to stay at their brokerage they're at is $43,000 per year, which is great. It hits my 30 to 50 grand. And then I took somebody's advice. They said, "Why don't you should do like a 1, a 2, and a 3 year?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll do a 3, a 5, and a 10 year to show the substantial loss of money that agents have by staying at the wrong brokerage." So it's 130 for a 3 year difference, 218 and 436. Now, I can show you any agent at any company that fits my avatar, again, capping agents and up, that they're going to save an extra 30 to 50 grand. So let's take an agent that's doing 4,000 or 4 million a year. And so they're netting 93,000, their broker's taking 27,000, and they're not doing nearly that many deals. because let's say they did 22 deals to get to their what was it, 4 million. Now it's not that great, right? It shows $7,000 difference. But if you show them through tap routing that I'm going to help them recruit 5 agents, and I'm going to help each one of those agents recruit 1 agent, that's going to equal 30 grand on the model that I just showed you, the 15, 2, and 1. And it's going to put that to 37,000. There's no agent in the world that I can't show this to that is at a traditional or a KW split type model that doesn't equal 30 to 50 grand. So that's that spreadsheet. And I've got another one, another same type of thing that I use if it's a KW agent or an agent with a cap. And this one, it looks like we showed somebody doing 20, what were they doing? Oh, there we go. 8 million. And they've got a cap of 22 grand, so on and so forth. They're only doing 23 deals. Again, without revenue share, it's a $3,000 difference. That's not enough to make anybody wake up in the morning and think, I got to change. But again, 5 agents in their front line that I'm going to help them, or I'll recruit them for them to get them started. And 1 agent for each of those 5 gives you your 30 grand, puts it back in. Now I'm not a liar. It's 30 to 50 grand net difference.
So good, John. So good. So, obviously we want to handle emotional objections with logic. And that's what you just did, John, is that you showed the numbers, and numbers don't lie. No question about that. Yet we also handle logical objections with emotion, and we understand that. So what if somebody said to you, okay, I've reviewed your spreadsheet, John, it makes sense. I see that I'm going to make, over the course of the next 10 years, an extra $500,000, and I'm very loyal to my broker. It's like a family here. What do you say?
So I don't get that objection ever once I've shown them the spreadsheet. That would be an objection that I would get on the first call. And I'm going to use the exact same objection handler for every single objection. If I can show you how to put an extra to 30 to 50 grand net in your pocket, that works for every objection. I don't care if your dad's your broker, if whatever your scenario is. I try not to, and I try to coach people to have as few objection handlers as possible, because that's less errors that you can make. But if I've got a good conversation going, or let's say it's after appointment number 1, and then so my appointment number 2 is going to be a full model explained appointment. And just to note, appointment number 3 is going to be a 3-way call. Let's say that they bring that up, they talk about their loyalty. Then I'm going to give them a compliment. I'm going to talk about the value of loyalty, and I'm going to very carefully talk about where my loyalties lie. I'm not going to tell them that their loyalties are messed up because they're loyal to a person who's only there for their money. I'm going to talk about my loyalties, and I'm going to talk about my situation. Look, my mentor to start in real estate was the operating principal of my Keller Williams office. I am not in business with him. I like him very much. I'm loyal to him to the point where, I'm not going to lie to him. I'm not going to steal from him. I'm not going to cheat. I'm loyal to my wife and kids. I'm loyal to my kids who are not even alive yet. I'm loyal to my family's financial future more than I'm loyal to anything. And I'm going to have that conversation delicately, but I'm going to have that conversation. The one thing I would say on that is you got to be careful not to tell them that their loyalties are messed up. Nothing you want to do during any of this is telling them that they've got, the wrong, they've got their head in the wrong spot. So I'm going to just focus on my loyalties. I'm going to say, I felt exactly like that. There's the old sales 101, feel, felt, found, that we've all heard since, I don't know, the beginning of time, but it works, right? Look, I totally get exactly where you're coming from. And you know what, when I started looking at this, I had the exact same thought. What I found when I really dove into why I'm here and why I do what I do, my loyalty is to the betterment of my family first. And I would say I would handle it like that.
John, well, tell us about maybe some people who have taken your program and have gotten out there and gotten into action around attraction. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so the program's been running for, I think, 4 or 5 months. I actually think there's probably a handful of them on here. But the biggest comment that I get through the entire program is, this is why I'm not doing agent attraction. I don't have a system in place. Like we said to start, Sean, if you don't know who to call, what to say, and then how to move them through a process, you won't do any of it. I see a couple hands up. Barbara's actually in my program currently. And I do want to save enough time because I saw a bunch of people talk about the script. If somebody does want to do a role play, we can absolutely do that.
Absolutely. Well, let's definitely do that. Yeah, I've got a couple of hands up.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's go to you, bud.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Take it away.
John, it doesn't take much to get me excited, brother, but I'm excited and you're going to get my money. But my question is, I already have I've kind of already started, kind of came out the gates a little fast there. And I wanted to talk about kind of retention and system building, right? Because I already have 42 on the front, and I think I'm at 175. But I'm ready. I'm ready to blow out that front line. But also, like, where do I house all these people, and how do I keep the camaraderie going and build the community with all these people, right? And that's what I wanted to find out if there's something in the program about that.
Yeah, that's kind of a multifaceted question because there's different organizations within EXP, right? So depending on the organization that you're part of, your uplines within EXP, if you can dial them into, you know, if your upline, for instance, my upline is the RevShare builder, or not RevShare builders, it's the Game Changers group, and they've got weekly masterminds. I know Sean has weekly masterminds. What I would do if I didn't have any of that is I would dial them into Sean's Tuesday mastermind call, which is on production. I would dial them into Sean's Wednesday mastermind call, which is this one today. That's enough to show them that there is a community here. The other thing that I would say is, in my opinion, the best retention tool is taprooting. And here's why. If somebody in my front line, I'm going to say, hey, look, they're going to tell me, oh, I'm not a recruiter. And I'm going to say, great, don't be, I am. And I'm really, really good at it. And so all I need from you is the top 5 people that you know in real estate who know you, like you, trust you, and won't hang up on me when I mention your name. And I'm going to recruit them, and I'm going to put them in your line 1. They'll be in my line 2. We'll double dip. We'll both get paid. If you get people 2, maybe 3 people in their front line that you did the work to put in there, they're never leaving you because nobody leaves free money. And if you can get them to 2 or 3, they're going to be so close to having level 2 opened up that they're going to find them on their own. And so that's kind of the way I do it. I know a lot of people do a lot of different things as far as maybe, you know, weekly calls with them. That becomes very, very time consuming. If you don't have an upline that has a formalized organization, you have Sean doing a mastermind on Tuesday, a mastermind on Thursday, an attraction, model explained on Friday. If you link them into Sean's world, you now have a community for them. People don't leave necessarily because, you know, they find a better option. They leave because they feel alone. And all you have to do is be on the Wednesday call, be on the Tuesday call, and invite your people to participate, then have some conversations about that. Their production will increase, their revenue share will increase, and everybody wins. So that's my kind of overall strategy for retention.
Love it. So there's 4 categories that we must focus on when building a sustainable revenue share organization. So it's number 1, recruiting. Number 2 is retention. Number 3 is revenue or per agent production to increase that. I mean, our goal is to get our FLAs to become FLQAs, get our quarter cappers to half cappers to full cappers to icon agent status, so that we can have that social proof and shout the results from the rooftop. So beyond recruiting, retention, revenue, then it's really about reproduction, to educate and train them on how to attract agents, to align with them at EXP. Now, our program, Attraction and Action, as well as Jon's program, will undoubtedly improve their knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits. They'll know what to say, how to say it, who they're going to say it to, and then it's just really up to them to time block the time and make those conversations happen. So, Jon, thank you so much for today, bud. As always, you just bring so much value. Welcome to the Icon Coaching team, by the way, as a coach, as a trainer, as a consultant. I love the fact that we're doing this together. It just feels feels so good. It feels so right. So Tim, I know you're going to stay on the line. You're going to answer some questions. You're going to give them some tips on social media marketing and what you're doing for Icon to really increase our influence that they can just take away and apply to their own strategy to increase their influence at the same time. Guys, I got to get again, thank you. And feel free to stay on the line with Tim. Guys, seriously, ask your questions, get your answers. Until we talk again next week, just be on purpose, be productive, be powerful. By the way, Tim, I saw that you posted all those links to the chat. Guys, open that up, check it out, join our social media groups. We're posting videos like this one every single week, and we just want to add value. Also, the last link that Tim posted was the schedule a one-on-one coaching call. No, seriously, for free, you can get on the phone with my right-hand man. His name is Paul Hellam. And Tim, I almost said your name. You're my right hand on the technology side, yet on the consulting side, it's Paul Hellam. Just get on the phone with him. He's going to help you identify and solve at least one problem in your current strategy. And there's no strings attached. Seriously, no obligation. It's free. It's 30 minutes. Just take the time, you guys. Improve your knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits. Thank you all for being here. Talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate everything.
Back at you, John. Bye-bye.
Wonderful.
So, Tim,
okay.
Tim, if we can hang on for a second, there were a bunch of questions in the thing. Do you mind? I've got a bit of time to stay on to answer those questions. And then Sean asked me, offline if I would, post or let people know how they can get a hold of us. That type of thing. Do you want to go that direction real quick, wrap up these questions? And
you know what, let me actually, John, if it's okay, let me do the technology thing and then I will come back to the questions. We've got about 108 people on the call. If that's cool, let's do that. I want to run people through the social media part of this real quick, because I think this is really important right now. And
okay,
so yeah, let me share the screen and I will show you guys why this is so important. Okay, I'm going to go into Safari. So let me see, I'm going to go right into LinkedIn. Many realtors now need second jobs. We are seeing headwinds in today's market. This is something you guys need to be aware of, right? The market is changing and it's going to continue to change. So one of the things that you can do, one of the things that you should do is build up your network, your sphere of influence. Okay, so we have been using social media. That is one of our many tools. LinkedIn is a big one, and that's because LinkedIn is a professional network. This is going to let you reach out to agents. It's going to let you find people that you really want to connect with, and it's going to let you attract them to EXP. So we post video shorts. I just wanted to show you guys this very quickly. You can shoot a 30-second to 1-minute video. That's all it takes on your phone. You can upload that to LinkedIn, and it will automatically generate captions for you, right? So this is something to be aware of. Video shorts are a wonderful tool. You can put these on any social network. Again, on LinkedIn, it's going to automatically generate the captions. That is very valuable to do. The other thing I want to show you is how to build connections. So what you want to do is you want to go into your connections tab. You want to search with filters. Basically, you are looking for second level connections. These are friends of friends. It's going to show you how many mutual connections you have there. And it's also going to give you an all filters tab. You can filter by regional market. You can filter by company. I have met people, I've heard people say that they want to recruit folks who work for Compass. Okay, if you want to do that, you can actually look for agents who work with Compass and connect with them. This is a wonderful way to build your network, and it's very valuable. The first person that I recommend you connect with is, of course, Mr. Sean Kokoska, and I dropped that link into chat. So LinkedIn is a very valuable tool. I will talk more about this in the future. You can use this to connect with people. It gives you about 100 different connections per week. Use those up. Connect with as many people as possible. The other tool that we are using is Twitter. Twitter is not dead, contrary to the many rumors. Again, you can drop video shorts in here. We are doing this. Twitter, a lot of people struggle with this. What I wanted to show you is we are using a tool called Tweepy. Tweepy actually lets you search for users in real estate. You can search by region, again, your local market, if you want to do that. And you can find people who are tweeting. You can search by the number of followers they have. You can see how active and when they've been last active. And basically, if you follow them, follow on Twitter, some percentage of them will follow you back. So we just recreated Sean's account. We're up to 620 followers. This isn't about a month, okay? And so the first person that I want you to get active with connecting on Twitter is, of course, Mr. Sean Kokoska. But I think that you guys should put a little bit of time aside at the end of every evening and just get brushed up on your social media stuff. And the reason that I say that is, again, we're looking at market headwinds. This is something that you guys are going to need to, you want to have all of the connections possible. And for agent attraction, you're not looking at just meeting regular consumers, you're looking at meeting other agents. Social media is a great way to do that. Okay, John, go for it, sir. That was my pitch for today. And I should mention to everybody, we still got 105 people. Let me drop those links back in. And guys, write all of these links down.
Tim, I think they should be connecting with me for. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually taking. I've been hounding Tim offline, and because I don't do social media much. I'm a straight up sales guy, and Tim's right. It's definitely needs to be part of everybody's world. So, let's do this. If anybody has any, I'm more than happy to stay on. I kind of blocked a little time after this, but I'm going to make a couple of sort of housekeeping things as far as the partnership and moving RevShare Builder Coaching into the Icon community world. Currently, the website that I built, which is good enough, let's say, is still where you would go to connect with me or to sign up for the March course. The March course starts on March 2nd, and it will be each Thursday in March. The price of the course is $14.97. And within the next probably 30 to 60 days, everything is going to be migrated over to the Icon coaching website, but I'm trying not to put 8 million things on top of the 5 million things Tim is already doing. So that's the direction we're going to go right now. All sessions are recorded and re-uploaded if somebody misses anything. And then Sean and I are working on a number of different projects together. So there's a bunch of questions in the chat. But if anybody does have any questions that I don't catch from the chat, just go ahead and pop your hand up, and I'm more than happy to stay on as long as Tim has patience. He's been hearing my voice a lot lately, so as long as Tim's available, I am here to help in any way I can.
Yeah, John, I think we're good. Let's take questions. Let's probably go until at least 10, right? And that gives us about 7 more minutes. Cool. And again, let me urge everybody, guys, we've dropped links in chat. Copy those links down. I drop links into like our recommended list vendor. That's something where actually I had a long call with them about a week ago, and they know that you guys are on your way. That list vendor, that is who we use. That's who we use for our marketing list. That's the industry standard for lists. And that link is right there. They do not include production values. That's something that John has said Market View Broker is probably your best bet for. But
yeah, so and that's a question I get all the time is, where do I get all my data? I get all my data from Market View Broker. I go really, really deep in session 3 of the coaching program on how to build an organized prospecting-based database and CRM. A lot of people use CRM Grow. It doesn't matter what CRM you use. I go real deep on how to filter, how to search, filter, and upload, and then how to set up your CRM so it is used as an outbound recruiting CRM versus, a real estate CRM. So let's see. I'm trying to repeat. Can I repeat the script for the initial call, please? Yeah. Does anybody want to role play with me? Are there, and I can't tell if there are any hands up or not. It doesn't necessarily look like it.
Not I will.
Okay, is that you, Tony? No, I don't know who said that.
Brian.
Brian Shaw. Brian
Oh,
Shaw.
okay, he's not on page one. Okay, here's what I'm going to do before we get into the role play. This is what I tell everybody on role play. And again, I've run big call centers. My whole life has been cold calling, which means been role playing. Role playing is not designed to stump the person on the other end of the call. Role playing is designed to act like a normal person. If you get stumped, that's fine. You get stumped sometimes. But what I tell everybody when they're trying to role play is role playing is designed to make you and the other person better at what you're doing. So I always throw that out there. Brian, you're not on the same screen page as I am, but I'm just going to give you a call and we'll do the exact script that I use and the exact script that I coach on. Now, I've got 3 different variations of this script. One is for cold agents you've never met. One is for co-brokes that has a different intro to the script. And one is for people that you kind of know, but you don't know really, really well. And then there's actually a 4th script that is for tap rooting. But we're going to go through the main cold script, assuming that Brian and I have never met. We've never talked before. And I got him in my database and I'm calling him. Fair enough? All right, ring, ring.
Hello, this is Brian.
Hey, Brian, Jon Mendelsohn. Let me pause a second. There's a point where you have to say the real estate team or group or whatever you is. I don't sell real estate anymore, so I'm just going to throw Sean Kokoska's name out there. But we kind of go into doing that. So I'm going to say, hey, Brian, Jon Mendelsohn with the Sean Kokoska group over at EXP. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thanks. Hey, listen, first thing first, don't rack your brain or go through the mental Rolodex. I don't believe the 2 of us have actually met. Reason for my call, though, if you got a quick minute, actually, let me back up a step. Are you familiar with the Sean Kokoska team?
I don't believe I am, no.
No worries at all. So we're a $40 million team, been in the business, with KW for about 14 years, ownership in the office, profit share, the whole 9 yards. Anyways, made a huge move just over a year ago, partnered with EXP, and everything is exploding. So I'm just reaching out to a couple of agents that are doing really awesome business in spite of the insanity of the last 12 months. And honestly, the insanity of the market that we're looking at for the next 12 to 18 months. And just kind of asking, have you had a chance to really sit down, look at the EXP model specifically as it pertains to your business, your current production, and where you want to see your business go? Because I got to tell you, Brian, the finances, game-changingly different.
No, not really. I haven't done it specifically to what I'm doing personally, no.
All right, no worries. And look, I am not in the business of trying to make people make a decision or make a move, but what I'd love to do is I'd like to set up a 20-minute call with you, and I will walk you through the model, like I said, specifically as it pertains to your business. And if it's something you're interested in and want to chat more about, great. If not, absolutely no harm, no foul. At least you'll know what the model looks like, because I know people who have made that move.
Oh yeah, I do know some people, and I could set aside 20 minutes probably.
Awesome. So in your world, what's the least hectic day of the week that I'm going to interrupt you the least?
Probably Tuesday mornings.
Awesome. And then I just literally set the appointment, and that's not as scripted, Awesome. I'm going to set, well, what I'll tell them is, great. What I'll do is I'll send you a calendar invite with a Zoom link, and for whatever the time is. And then sometimes I'll say, and listen, I promise you, if nothing else, this will not be a bad use of your time, but I don't always throw something in like that. Remember to stop selling when you've already sold. Don't keep talking. Don't use 15 words when 7 words will do, that type of thing. Now, let's say that Brian gave me an objection. Brian, pick any objection in the world.
Yeah, I know some people have moved. I'm really not interested. I like where I'm at, and I'm doing well. So I don't think it would be something I'd be interested in.
No worries at all. And congratulations to you. You know, that's awesome that you're doing so well. Let me just ask you one more quick question, and then I'll let you jump off the phone. If I can show you how to put an extra 30 to 50 grand net in your pocket in the next 12 months without changing anything that you're doing at all, would that be worth a 20-minute phone call?
I don't have to change anything.
Absolutely not.
I'd like to see how you can do that.
Awesome. So in your schedule, what's the least hectic day of the week that I'm going to interrupt you the least? And that's how it goes. That's the entire script. Now, most of the time, I have about 50% of the time when somebody says, they throw me an objection, about 50% of the time, I use that 100% of the time I use that objection handler. 50% of the time, I convert them to an appointment because their answer is, well, I'd have to be an idiot not to do that. And then I set the appointment. Couple things about the script. Thing one, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. That's like lawyering 101, right? I know that he doesn't know who my team is. I call in areas that I don't sell. So the first question I asked him is, are you familiar with the whatever your team or whatever? No. Great. I already know that answer. The only other question in the entire script is, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Shoot, I got to think of the script. I don't have it in front of me. It's in the body of the script. Let's see. Let me back up. Oh, have you had a chance to really sit down, look at the EXP models, and then I don't let them answer. I say specifically, and I go into the detail because now I've shifted their mind from setting an appointment with me to what I'm asking them, which is, have you had a chance to sit down, look at the model, specifically as it pertains to your business, your current production, where you want to see your business go? Because I got to tell you, the finances are game-changingly different. That changes the entire dialogue of what they're going to say. So I still didn't ask them for an appointment. I just asked them if they had a chance to sit down specifically like that. And then I still don't ask them for an appointment. I just tell them what I'd like to do. So having the right script that is designed in the appropriate way, and then learning the cadence and the tonality, it's game changing for sure. So that's the script. All right,
so
let's see.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
John.
How you doing, John?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So I am really not part of a team that is focused on revenue share. Absolutely zero. They're very much focused on selling real estate in an ever-changing market. And the very beginning of your script, you elevated yourself by piggybacking on that you're part of Sean Kokosa's team. What do you say to an agent that wants to get involved in revenue share that piggybacks to no one?
Yeah. So what I would say is, I'm not saying that to talk about RevShare or anything. I'm saying that to have a conversation, right? I haven't sold real estate since 2019. I ran a cold calling business after that for real estate. So I always just used my sponsors, my upline sponsors, performance. I would just say, part of the Dave Caggiano team. I talked to Dave. Dave's like, yeah, man, whatever. And so that's what I would do. And then as far as if you don't have somebody directly above you who's very RevShare focused, again, Sean's Tuesday call, Sean's Wednesday call, Sean's Friday call, that will get you everything you need to know. But go further up your line. EXP is a lot like they used to say in Rome. All roads lead to Rome. All roads lead to Brent. In one way, shape, or form or another, somebody in your upline will do three-way calls with you. I promise you. So, or Rob Flick. Yeah, that's right. Or Rob Flick. Let's see. I'm going to try to buzz through these. The recording for this, Tim, they're asking you. Usually Tim gets that up within a day or so, I think.
Yeah. If I could jump in, and actually, I want to say thank you to everybody who has already connected with Sean on LinkedIn. Again, guys, that's your sphere of influence online, right? And so that's something that you absolutely want to work. It doesn't replace what you're doing in real life, but it definitely augments it. I mean, that's something that I use. It's incredibly valuable. It's a relation building tool. So
yeah, and I'm going to try to wrap this up for Tim so I don't keep him all day. So there was one more question, Eric. The script is exactly, it says, what do you currently say as your opening? The exact thing I just said. it would be, hey, Eric, Jon Mendelsohn with the whomever it is. Let me do this for everybody. Go to RevShare. If you have more questions for me, either go to RevShareBuilder.com. We put the link in there. You can click the connect with Jon. Also, I put my cell phone number in there. Regardless of if you think the coaching might be right for you, I'm willing to pour anything into anybody that's affiliated in any way, shape, or form with Sean and Tim, because my relationships with them have changed my life. So my cell phone, I'll put it back in again, or my email. I have the rest of the day blocked because last time we did this, I had about 20 people that wanted to meet afterwards. If you have any questions, again, the next coaching session starts in March, on March 2nd. It's going to be Thursday each week of March. And but reach out to me, guys. The connections that I've made through EXP have literally changed my life. I kind of view that I owe it to EXP to do anything I can for anybody else who's trying to win with this. I'm here to help. I'm taking after what Tim and Sean do, and I'm just helping any way I possibly can. So, Tim, let me direct it back to you real quick. As always, my friend, I really appreciate it. I think that a role like yours may go unnoticed, which means you're doing it right. Tim is like nobody ever comments about when you go to a play, how well the lighting works or how well, but if it doesn't work, everybody knows. So Tim, you do an awesome job. I know it's a lot of work managing all this stuff. I just wanted to take a moment and thank you personally. So if anybody needs anything from me, again, my stuff has been in the link or in the chat. If you can't find it, Tim, you taught me this a couple of weeks ago. There's 3 little dots on the bottom of the chat. If you click that, you can then say save chat, and it'll just save it to a document for you.
Yeah. Well, and Jon, if I could jump in, I'm going to upload this. And in fact, we are very good about this now. We get all these uploaded to YouTube, to our YouTube channel on the same day. There's a link in there to YouTube. However, I am also going to email everybody who was on this call. I think the thing that I would leave you with is don't be a secret agent. I was kind of surprised to see that Realtors Need Second Jobs article. I know that the market is changing. It seems like it might be changing a little bit more rapidly. Make some noise in a positive way. Lift people up, get out there, make connections, right? And that's not just attraction. That's the normal business as well. Don't be a secret agent. That would be what I would leave you with.
Can I say one thing too? Guys, gals, everybody in this call, do not miss your opportunity for RevShare. It is the opportunity to buy Amazon stock when Amazon only sold books. It's always going to be good, RevShare, but it's never going to be as good tomorrow as it was today. So just if it's with the way that I do it, great. If it's a different way, great. Don't miss this opportunity. Your kids in the future, they'll be thanking you. Make a legacy. Tim, you're the best. I appreciate it. I know I keep you over every time we do this. Next time we see each other, dinner's on me. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thanks again. Okay, well, let's close things down. I hope that everybody has a great day. And again, I mean, we've listed a ton of programs that people can enroll in. We've also given them a ton of free options. You have gone through scripts and objection handlers. We've given them list resources. We've given them lots of links. And so my hope is that we've provided overwhelming value. Guys, definitely tune in. We do this every week, and our goal is to give you the tools to do your absolute best. Thanks again.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate you so very much.